Behind every single skyscraper and modern building, there's this incredibly complex network of systems that, well, it basically keeps it alive. Today, we're going to dive deep into a company that's right at the heart of that world, Advanced Elite Co., LLT, which you might also know as Safwa MEP. Their whole deal is making sure those massive buildings don't just look impressive, but that they run safely and super efficiently. So yeah, let's get right into it.
Just look around any modern city, right? You see these incredible feats of engineering everywhere. But what you don't see is the hidden world inside each one, this crazy, complex web of systems that keeps everything humming along. And the thing is, as our buildings get bigger and smarter, keeping them maintained, whoa, that challenge just gets bigger and bigger. It's like a constant battle against pure complexity.
Okay, so here's how we're going to break it all down. First, we'll look at the modern building challenge itself. Then, we'll introduce the experts in building safety and dig into their mission of excellence. After that, we'll get into the nitty-gritty of their maintenance systems and their smart operations. And finally, we'll take a peek at the future of maintenance. Sound good? Let's go.
All right, let's kick things off with that first point, the modern building challenge. And really, what we're talking about here is just how hard it is to keep the very lifeblood of a modern building flowing smoothly. It's all about that complex infrastructure.
Seriously, think about it for a second. It's not just one system we're dealing with, right? It's a whole bunch of them, all tangled together. You've got your electrical, your plumbing, the HVAC keeping everything comfortable, and of course the supercritical fire safety systems. Getting all of that to work together in perfect harmony, that's not just a nice to have, it's an absolute necessity. It's about keeping people safe and keeping the business running, period.
So you might be wondering, how on earth do you manage all that complexity? Well, that's exactly where a specialist company like Advanced Elite steps in. They are literally built from the ground up to be the expert in building safety.
So, let's meet them. This is Advanced Elite Co. Limited, also known as Safwa MEP. They're based in Saudi Arabia, and their entire focus, their whole reason for being, is providing these integrated safety and maintenance solutions. They are, in a nutshell, purpose-built to solve the exact challenges we've been talking about.
And look, they don't just do the work, they do it to the absolute highest standards out there. We're talking strict adherence to the Saudi Building Code, all the civil defense requirements, and the global NFPA standards for fire protection. For these guys, that's not just a target to aim for, it's totally non-negotiable. You could say safety and compliance are just baked right into their DNA. Okay, so we've established who they are and the high bar they set for themselves. But what really drives them? What's their mission? Let's pull back the curtain and look at the core principles that guide their entire performance.
It really boils down to three simple, powerful words: reliable, efficient, professional. And this is so much more than just a catchy tagline. It's a genuine promise. It's a super clear, direct statement that tells every single client exactly what they can expect.
And that promise, it translates directly into their official mission. The whole goal is to take those three words, reliable, efficient, professional, and turn them into real-world results. They're all about making sure building systems are rock-solid dependable and that the whole environment is as safe as it can possibly be for their clients.
So how do they actually do that? How do they make that mission a reality every single day? Well, it all comes down to four core objectives. 1. Deliver fast and professional service. 2. Minimize those awful, unexpected breakdowns by being proactive with preventative maintenance. 3. Ensure full compliance with every single regulation. And 4. Really focus on customer satisfaction to build relationships that last. It's a super clear roadmap for how they achieve excellence.
All right, so we've definitely covered the why behind what they do. Now let's jump into the what. We're going to look at their full spectrum of services, everything they do to maintain every single critical system you'd find in a modern building.
First up, let's talk plumbing. And trust me, this is way more than just fixing a leaky pipe. They manage a building's entire water ecosystem. We're talking water supply, drainage systems, stormwater, the whole shebang. And here's the key part. They don't just fix things when they break. They're constantly evaluating the performance of the entire system to stay ahead of problems.
Next, we've got HVAC systems. And it doesn't matter if it's a small split unit or a gigantic chiller system, they handle all of it. Their focus here is kind of twofold. First, just keep it running perfectly through preventative maintenance. But second, and this is huge, they optimize it for energy efficiency. And that's a win-win, right? It's better for the environment, and it puts real money back in their clients' pockets.
Okay, now for what is, you could argue, the most critical service of all, fire safety systems. We're talking about maintaining the sprinkler systems, the alarms, the pumps,
every single piece of that puzzle. They make sure it's all in perfect working order, and of course, in full compliance with those super strict civil defense and NFPA standards. And last but not least, you've got the building's electrical backbone. They service the whole works, from low and medium voltage systems to distribution boards, you name it. And this also includes those absolutely vital emergency generators, the systems that kick in and provide power when everything else goes dark.
So that's a pretty comprehensive list of what they do, right? But the big question is, how do they pull it all off? How do they deliver on that promise day in and day out? Well, their secret sauce is really this smart blend of highly skilled teams on the ground and cutting-edge technology behind the scenes.
And this is exactly where they connect the physical world with the digital world. So on one hand, you've got these fully equipped maintenance teams and service vans ready to be dispatched for any job. But on the other hand, every single service request is managed through this slick digital application. And what that does is it gives everybody, the company and the client, total visibility into what's happening from start to finish.
Now, let's talk about their business model, because it's pretty smart. They don't put all their eggs in one basket. Their revenue comes from three main streams. You've got your annual maintenance contracts, which provide a steady foundation. Then there are the emergency services for when things go wrong unexpectedly. And finally, there are those one-off corrective maintenance jobs. This setup is great because it gives them stability, but also lets them be super flexible for their clients.
So what's next? Where do they go from here? Well, a company like this is never just sitting still. They aren't only focused on today, they have a really clear vision for growth and for what the future of maintenance is going to look like.
And their ambition is pretty clear, as you can see. They have a solid strategic plan to expand their footprint, to bring this high level of service and expertise to new regions all across Saudi Arabia.
Yeah, and this isn't just some vague dream. It's a really concrete plan. They're actively increasing the number of service vans they have, they're expanding their technical workforce, they're pushing into new regions, and they're even introducing specialized industrial maintenance. I mean, this is a company that is, without a doubt, building for the future.
Which really brings us to this final, pretty important question. Is your partner building the future with you? Because in a world of increasingly complex buildings, this kind of proactive, professional maintenance, it's just not a luxury anymore. It's a flat-out necessity. The real takeaway here is that you don't just need someone who's keeping up with today's problems. You need a partner who is actively building the future of reliability right there with you.